No difference.
And we're live. We are definitely live now. But I can't see Facebook
Brilliant.
because my phone
I
isn't
will
working
open
properly.
Facebook.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Night Live.
It
Just
is,
me and
isn't it?
Jonathan tonight.
Yeah, Nathan and Christine have bailed because they have much better things to do, which is attending Deanery Synod. Now it's Deanery Synod via Zoom, and I did put up the proposal we should bring in Nathan live, but he wasn't keen for some reason. He's not keen to report to us live what the doings of the Deanery Synod are. Now,
Well, there you go. We'll have to find our own entertainment.
What normally happens before we go live is that I have a chat with Jodie and say, this is what we're going to do in this order, but we haven't had time to do that tonight. So I'll tell you.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I wasn't going to blame you.
This is my dinner right here. That's why we haven't had time.
This is a fixed time at 7 o'clock each week, right? Yeah, so fine. I'm saying nothing. But I did have my tea at 6 o'clock. And it's tea, by the way. Because that's a northern thing. And it's funny I should say that because we're going to come on to regional stuff a bit later on.
Exciting.
But we have a big news flash this week. The Christmas tree has gone up in church. And on Tuesday Night Live, we can bring you an exclusive preview. I was in earlier on collecting the Christmas boxes, which we're going to talk about in a minute. And this is what I found. There is St. Margaret's tree. Now, I don't know whether we're allowed to put the lights on in church for worship yet, but it's up. So Frank was in there earlier on putting the tree up, and he said it needs watering. So every time we go in, we have to give it a little water. Otherwise, we will suffer catastrophic needle drop. That is the problem we will have. And it's a real tree, so we don't want catastrophic needle drop. We really don't.
No.
So,
Sally says, yay, that's fantastic. It really
looks
is
lovely.
Beautiful. It's so nice to see.
It looks lovely. The other thing that we've been slogging at this week have been the Christmas boxes. Christmas in a box. Have you got yours there?
Yay! I do have one here.
Excellent.
To be an example. I'm sure that if you've been following us this week on Facebook, you will have seen some murmurations of what this Christmas in a box is.
Before you open it
together?
No. We're going to show the film. Do you remember? We spent last week packing these things. How many did we do? 300 and something.
450 boxes.
450 boxes. And if you want to know how Santa's little elves managed to pack the boxes, stay tuned for this. Now, hang on. I've got to put your audio on, Jodie, otherwise you won't be heard. But you need to talk us through this. So tell us what's happening.
Well, there's so many different things in this box. A big shout out to Joe Whitaker and family who prepared most of this. You can see those stones drying on the radiator. So there is a whole array of things in this box, basically. There's a good little time lapse of us getting busy, making sure everything is in all of them. And all of the different things that are in the box correspond to the little magazine, which you might see a picture of in a minute, that lies on the top of the box. This little booklet is called Advent Adventures, and it comes with loads of different instructions of different things you can do with the stuff that you'll find in the box. Cake mix, some stones, finger paints, which seem to have been very, very well received. People are loving the finger paints. It's been amazing to see the photos that people have been posting on the Facebook page. So keep your photos coming if you are watching. It's been so good to see. There's the Advent Adventures book. So inside those, you can see it's got like different activities for each week of Advent with different themes. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it looks like people have been busy kind of getting stuck in already. You can see Davina making the boxes there. She was
so quick, and that's not
machine.
That's not speeded up very much, as you can tell. So
it's just incredible. This was my job. I got to put the stickers on all of them. I enjoyed that job.
And that's
gave me great satisfaction.
That's about 60 of them. And
it's barely any.
So,
when you see them all together,
yeah, there is a photo of them all together, but I haven't got it on here. So that was us.
Yeah, Christmas in a box. It was incredible, and we're just so glad that everybody has enjoyed doing them and enjoyed getting them. And I should say at this point that the majority of them went to St Margaret's Juniors, and then a whole two other people that we know at St Margaret's. But if you didn't get one and you would like one, we still have a small number left.
22.
So do you get in touch?
We've got 22 left. Oh, no, because the 5 of those have got to go somewhere else. So we've got some, maybe a dozen left.
We've got at least 10.
At least 10.
So do get in touch if you would like one. We would still love to get one to you. You can definitely, it's only the 1st of December today. It's not too late at all, is it?
No. And Nathan did say that we had to give a shout out to the Diocese of Rochester and their Children and Young People's Fund, who gave us a grant to be able to do this. And we think it's money well spent. So what we now need to do is cross live to Jodie for the ceremonial opening of the box.
I'll put it down. Now, I have to know how childproof this is. Jodie Ward, live from the other end of Rainham. It's actually really hard to open. Oh, just give me a second, please. I'm notorious in this household for not being able to open boxes.
You just have to.
You're making me do it live.
You just have to run your nail through the sticker.
I did. That's what I did, but it was just hard. Hang on, it's upside down.
That explains it.
Really bad. There we go.
Now, someone was asking me earlier on, why are there stones in there? Do we know the answer to that? Because it's supposed to be in the book. Is it? Do people get to paint them or something?
I don't know. If you've already opened your box and you know what the stones are for, please let us know in the comments, because I don't know right now, but I'm just having a quick look to see where the stones might come up. Wow, so much to do in one of these. It's absolutely incredible. No, I don't know, Jonathan. I'll have to get back to you on that. I'll have a look throughout. Oh, wait. Make a rock picture.
Oh,
okay, I'm going to have to put this box down because it's going in my dinner. But make a rock picture.
Top tip. Take the plate of food away from the desk.
But I want to eat. Collect some long, skinny rocks, round rocks and triangle rocks.
Oh, I see.
And put your rocks together to make a nativity scene. So you can go and expand on your
wonderful.
On your box as well.
So what we've given them is a kind of starter kit. And
yes, I think
it's like a geological rock garden. If you plant the rocks this year, in about 40,000 years, you'll have 6 or 7 more rocks and you can make the picture. Might not work like that, come to think of it.
This is quite difficult. Spot the difference. I can't see one difference so far. Well, that'll keep me entertained. But,
so what else is in there? We need to know.
I'll bring it back. Right. I'm just gonna tell you from the floor.
Okay.
These are the very famous, very well received finger paints that people are absolutely loving, which is great. What cake do you think I got, Jonathan?
Did you get the orange one? No, the cookies.
Chocolate fudge cake.
Because it's important to say that not all of the boxes were the same. So if you've seen something,
but I'm not sure we should say that, because some people might have got ginger cake.
Well, here's the problem, you see, because you've now revealed the contents of the box that vary. So people are going to say, No. You held it up. You got a
cake mix, some kind of cake mix, and you can never ever go wrong with any kind of cake mix, even ginger cake.
Well covered. I like ginger cake.
Thank you very much. I don't mind it, but chocolate fudge cake.
We used to have chocolate cake
now,
at
Jonathan,
school.
I know that you love these ones.
Skittles. Yes, they're my favourite.
Yeah, we had to restrain Jonathan from taking all of these when we were packing the boxes.
I didn't take any, for the record. Just.
Well done.
It
Well
was,
done.
I had to be bought off with mince pies, though.
And this, I think, this looks really fun. One of these jigsaws that probably has more of an intention, but you get to decorate yourself.
So
Maybe
the idea
more in
is
the
you
book club.
draw a picture on the jigsaw, then break it up, and then give it to someone, and they have to put it back together. That's really clever.
I know, I like that. Yeah. It's good. Oh, Claire said that they got brownie mix. That's also a good one.
Yes. Good. So
Amazing.
So it's a kind of way of helping people do Christmas at home, because we've got plans to do other stuff, but gathering is going to be a real issue this year. So, I mean, we're looking as a family at whether, how many of us can gather, and it's going to be different.
Yeah, it's very complicated, isn't it? Yeah, we do what we can, and we try and be wise about it.
So what for you are the fixed points of Christmas? What isn't going to change?
That's actually a really good question. We never grew up going to church on Christmas Day, so I know this might sound a bit controversial coming from someone who works in a church, but that has just traditionally, for me, that has never been part of my Christmas Day, because not all of my family are Christians either, so that just wasn't part of our routine. So even without that this year, I don't know what makes... Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's talking specifically about the Christmas Day. I'm a big fan of carols by candlelight. That's one of my favourite services of the whole year. It's just beautiful. Yeah. So I will definitely miss that this year.
We'll try and do something.
I have to say my nanny's Christmas dinner is another thing that I will miss very much.
Yes, I'm going to have to cook this year. I'm going to have to cook, so it's going to be beans on toast.
No, you can't do that.
I can. I mean, when I was about 7, my mum said to me, "What do you want for Christmas dinner?" And I was hooked on spam in those days: mashed potato, spam, and tin spaghetti. And so that's what I had on Christmas Day. And I remember that thing. Everybody else had their plates piled up with Yorkshire pudding. You see, I hated Brussels sprouts. Oh. I really, really, really hated Brussels sprouts. And we had
but Yorkshire puddings can compensate for the sprouts,
Not really. I mean, they can, yes. Now I'm older, I appreciate that. But we had a Formica kitchen table in those days, and underneath there was the metal frame that this thing was mounted on. And I discovered that if I was quick with a hand before the gravy went on, if I whipped the Brussels off the plate, I could balance them on this bar. And because they weren't on the floor, my mum thought, well, he must have eaten them then. And apparently when we moved house in the late 70s and moved this table, they looked under this metal bar, and there was about 30 dried out husks of Brussels sprouts.
Oh, that's horrible.
That was marvellous. Absolutely marvellous.
That's pretty good.
Got away with it for all those years. Now, I can't stand Brussels sprouts. It's a genetic thing, apparently.
I think you're not alone in that.
I was asked to account for it theological once, and I said they are the devil's own vegetable. It's just no. I don't know how the human race... It's like raw onion. Who in their right mind decided that raw onion was a food? I mean, grief. No.
Yeah.
No. So, yeah.
Well, a couple of people have said in the comments, Jonathan, that they will miss the nativity, crib service and things.
Yeah. But if
we're doing what we can, we've got some ideas up our sleeve, haven't we, Jonathan?
We have.
As a team.
We have.
But we will see. We're going to hope that we can do something that will that you guys will be able to partake in some way.
My idea for a trained circus of goats was voted down for some reason. No idea why. There you go. Performing goats. It's a thing. Performing goats. I was introduced by my youngest to videos of screaming goats.
Yes.
On the internet. They are just hysterical. And if you need cheering up, Google screaming goats.
I'll put that in the comments.
Yeah, screaming goats. It's hysterical. Good. So the other thing we always do at Christmas is have our annual Dice with Death. So we go out to Sheppey and walk along the front where the remains of the ship SS Montgomery are, which has, I don't know how many thousand tons of explosives. So once a year we go within half a mile of that because, it's the daring thing to do. And you've got to walk somewhere on Boxing Day. Oh, you have to get the fresh air on Boxing Day and take in the sea view.
True. We normally do a family walk on Boxing Day.
See if we can see Sheppey. See if we can see Southend from Sheppey, which actually you can on a clear day. Yeah. It's very clear today.
For us, it's always the Cotswolds. Because that's our
I'm sorry, we can't compete then, really.
Stomping ground. No, to be honest, as much as wonderful as the Cotswolds is, my favourite kind of walks are walks by the sea, even if that is Sheppey.
Shh, don't say it like that.
Yeah.
Don't say it like that.
Especially Sheppey.
Nought's as good as Rosebery topping in Yorkshire, though. Aye. There you go.
For me, it's all Cornwall. All Cornwall.
Yeah. Good. Right, we have
I was about to say, have we got a news quiz?
We have got a news quiz. And
I love the news quiz.
It's right now. This first one is very, very, and I make no apologies for this, but this first one is deeply, deeply controversial. So.
Oh my gosh. What's it going to be?
This one. This is.
Oh, I have no idea when it comes to cricket.
This is monumental upheaval time. It's not. It's right. This is a story that is not about sport. It's not about sport. It's about the killjoys of the Sussex Cricket League who have determined that something that's normally provided need no longer be. And it's created uproar.
Is it something to do with like tea at half time or something?
It is exactly tea at half time. Sussex Cricket League has no time for tea anymore. And I can't tell you how gutted I am by this, because I used to play league cricket up in the north of England. I played in the Central Lancashire League, which was quite a big league in those days. So I didn't play in the top tiers. But, I mean, for all it was the mill towns of Lancashire and Greater Manchester, this was the tradition. You had the tea. And we had a chap who played for our second team called Keith, and his mum used to provide the most fantastic teas, and there'd be like little meat pasties and the big brown teapot in the corner, and you all had a cup of tea that was the colour of boot polish, but it tasted, you could go out and bowl for an hour and a half straight after drinking this stuff. But she did the most fantastic Victoria sponges, and they all came with buttercream, and I'm not a fan of buttercream.
You seem to remember this in a lot of detail as well.
I said to Keith's mum once, look, I love these. This is the most perfect sponge, but I'm not really a fan of buttercream. So I'm terribly sorry. Everybody likes it. I said, don't worry. Honestly, don't worry about it. Anyway, the next match we played at home, I went into the bar area where the tea is set out, and there's my plate, and there's a little Victoria sponge about this big with just half an inch of raspberry jam in. Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it does sound quite good, actually.
And I waddled out to take the field. After that, I didn't bowl very well that day.
Now no one will suffer in that way because they're scrapping tea.
They're scrapping tea, and I think it must be fought. It must be fought. They must be told what a bunch of absolute idiots they are for doing this.
Oh gosh.
But there we go.
Controversial, isn't it? Just
okay.
Wildly controversial.
Next story. Don't think you'll get this.
Co-op sending out hundreds of trolleys of groceries.
That's not a bad start. Starts thinking about
sending out hundreds of.
It's about delivering. It's about deliveries of groceries.
Sending out hundreds of vans, minibuses, taxis.
No. It is.
Is it a mode of transport?
It is. It's a mode of delivery that I don't think you'll get. Are you ready?
Ubers? Robots?
Yeah. Now, wow. I found this story earlier in the week, towards the end of last week, and I went back to find the detail today because I thought, well, I better find out something, and I can't find a thing about it. So, but apparently they're designing these robots to trundle through and deliver groceries to people. But how they avoid the traffic and how they avoid mowing down small dogs, and whether they're allowed to do anything, given the fact that they're supposed to be registered, licensed, and insured vehicles if they're on the road. I don't know.
That is crazy.
This is the future of delivery. I mean, Amazon are talking about using drones, so there'll come a point where we don't have to leave home for anything. It can all be delivered to us. So robots to deliver groceries.
Well, we could do with that now, really.
They don't look very big, so you'd need about 30 of them for the average family weekly shop. So.
But I'm guessing that's why Co-op are doing it, because at first I was thinking it's strange that Co-op would take a lead on that, but if it's smaller groceries, like from your local shop as opposed to your big supermarket, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the future. I mean, it's interesting hearing the news today about Debenhams and the Arcadia group, about how the high street shopping, which was never in good nick anyway at the start of COVID, has now really, really taken a turn for the worse. And it makes you wonder what we'll be coming back to. 24 hour shopping ahead of Christmas isn't really going to cut it, is it?
I know. I saw that.
Who wants to shop at 3 a.m? Actually, me. A couple of Christmases ago, there was a whole heap of stuff I meant to do on the 23rd, 24th, and I just hadn't got round to it. So I thought, I'll do all the shopping. I'll get up at 4 a.m. and go. Anyway, I ended up going at 3 a.m. And I got to Tesco's and it was packed. It was absolutely heaving.
Seriously?
Yeah, there were more. It was the morning of Christmas Eve. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and the place was heaving. The queues were back almost down to the centre aisle, and they were restocking the shelves at the same time. So it was, you were just kind of squeezing through the whole thing. And I thought, okay, I've got to pick another time. So if anyone can suggest a good time in the couple of days before Christmas to hit one of the big shops, now's a good time to put it in the comments, because I haven't found one yet.
I think that the best time to go is before the few days before Christmas.
Yeah, but then you've got to take a risk on milk. You've got to take a risk on stuff that keeps in the fridge, and you need the fridge for other stuff. You can't buy the long keep stuff and stick it in the fridge, because you'll need that for. I mean, the ridiculous thing. The ridiculous thing is it's only one day, because you can go shopping again on Boxing Day if you want, and yet everybody gets completely wound up about it.
It's true, actually. You kind of do a big shop ready for a few days after as well, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. Food is my favourite bit.
Good. Next story is wonderful story from France. I like this story. I do. France bans discrimination against.
Grave issue. It sounds like something to do with discrimination against the way people are buried or something.
No, it's not. That's completely misleading. And even when you understand why it's misleading, it's still misleading.
Grave issue. France bans discrimination against. I feel like I read this somewhere. Discrimination against. No, I don't know.
They've created a specific concept. Here it is. Regional accents. So if you say grass instead of grass, this came about with the foreign minister who, it was one of the foreign ministers. The prime minister, when the prime minister opens his mouth, he's accused of being a bit rugby, which means apparently he comes from the southwest where the sport is popular. And the whole received, because the French system of grammar, they police it quite rigorously, and you're always reading comments and stories about them trying to take Anglicizations out of the French language. Le weekend, they hate apparently, because it's drawn from English, and they say they police the language rigorously. So France bans discrimination against regional accents, whereas we in this country have adopted them wholesale. You can't switch on any of the major television channels without hearing accents from all over the United Kingdom and far beyond, and I think long may that continue, especially the northern ones.
But I also like the kind of banter about accents and stuff. I think that's part of British culture, really.
It is. As
I
long as
don't
you
know.
don't,
Maybe that's just me, but
as long as you don't mind being mocked.
yeah.
And it's interesting.
Well, when you said earlier, you said a minute ago about whether you said grass or
grass or grass.
How do you say it?
Grass. There's no R in it. It says grass.
Well, so
Castle.
I would say
Bath.
grass. That's a southwest grass.
There you go. Yeah.
The grass.
Yeah. We always say up north that English as it's spoken in North Yorkshire, South Durham is the purest English because it's not been too Frenchified. It's maintained some of the Anglo-Saxon and the Dutch and the Norwegian part. So when you hear historic reproductions of early English, it seems to have that sort of almost Geordie lilt to it. So we like to think, we still speak it pure, like as it should be. Yeah, there you go. So, but I think again, when I was growing up, you didn't hear regional accents on television except in local programs. So, and now all the continuity announcers seem to be from different identifiable parts of the United Kingdom, and I think that's all to the good. All to the good.
My favourite one. Are you a Gogglebox watcher at all?
I watched, I think, the first series and couldn't see the point. So watching people
really
watching
like
television.
It's a guilty pleasure for me. But the guy who does the commentary on that, his accent is just incredible, and he just introduces people where they are. So he starts every scene with "in Yorkshire," and then in Brighton. It's just so funny. He just does these little snapshots in Hull, and it goes to the people in those places. But I just love it so much. There you go. There's my 2 pence for accents tonight.
Next story.
Got another one?
Yep. Yeah. This one. This is a puff piece, a filler piece in the Telegraph. So this is a list. I think they've got a list of 50 modern day must-haves. Today's status symbols needed to keep ahead of the neighbours include. So.
Include.
Let's see how many of them A, we can guess, or you can guess, and B, how many you've got.
Okay.
You've actually got.
And I would say an Alexa or a
1, 2,
Google.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 15 of them written down because there's a list of 50, but I've got the top 15 written down. So, what have you?
I think it's going to be an Alexa or a Google.
That's
thing.
not. No, you're thinking very. This is the Telegraph. So you've got to think a little more refined than that because the price tags are slightly bigger than that. Okay.
So no kind of. I want like a home assistance type gadget. That's got to be in there somewhere.
No, see that would file under something the domestics might need. It's not something you would need. Good Lord. So you've got to think big. Think big.
Okay, that's all I can think of.
Okay, here we go. I'll
give
you.
What about? No! Don't tell me. I want to.
Okay.
Oh, Stuart says a hot tub.
A hot tub? No. You have to have a swimming pool. Has to have a swimming pool at home. We're in big league stuff here. We're in the big league.
Okay, all right.
We're not talking Hempstead. We're talking Chelsea, really. So, okay. Top 15.
So
see how many we can get.
A swimming pool, a tennis court.
Tennis courts is on the list at number 11.
Oh my gosh! Home cinema.
A home cinema. Not on the list.
Some kind of surround sound system.
No, that's a
something
trinket.
for viewing.
That's a trinket. Have we got private cinema? No, we haven't got private cinema. Okay. There's only one thing on the list that I've got any chance of owning. As it happens, I don't. Okay.
Is it a type of car?
No. The thing that conceivably I could have is the iPhone 12. That's the only thing that's on the list, and that's very, very low down the list. So,
if you're watching at home, please put in the comments. Oh, Stuart said a helipad.
No, it's not, and it should be clearly.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting that Stuart seems to know what kind of things are on this list better than me.
I wonder how. Yes. Okay. So I'll give you a couple of them.
them.
Number one on the list is a car of the Range Rover Porsche variety, if not posh.
I said, is it a kind of car?
Did you? I obviously wasn't listening.
Yeah,
Anyway, it's got to be a particular kind of car. It's got to be Range Rover is the baseline. It's got to be above that. So your Audi is really not on. So the second thing is a Rolex or higher.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is, and then your children have to go to private school. You have to have the swimming pool. You have to have the second home.
Oh, horses, a stable.
Stable is on the list. Yes.
Yay!
And you have to have a second home in England somewhere and a holiday home abroad. You have to have an electric car. You have to travel first class. Your house has to have electric gates. Tennis courts, we did.
Of course.
iPhone 12, you have to have a nanny, and that's not a nan, it's a nanny. Okay. I presume even if you haven't children, you have one for the dogs. You have to have high-class luggage. Yeah, you have to have a personal trainer, and Joe Wicks will not do. And you have to have a wine cellar. So these are the things that you must have.
It's a very sad article, isn't it?
It's a bit of a pointless article, really, because it's just a picture of lots of posh things, and I don't know what it's designed to do. I mean, the sort of person who might be persuaded to adopt this as what you need is not going to pay any attention to it anyway. If you've got enough money, you don't need to be told, presumably. Now, the next one is. Oh,
you didn't include the walk-in wardrobe either.
It's not in the top 15, but it was there. Yeah, walk-in wardrobe.
I see, but it was in the top.
We have a walk-in wardrobe, but if you walked in, you'd be stuck. You'd be stuck. Next story this is my absolute top favourite story of the week, and this is Dexter.
I'm excited.
This is Dexter. Now, usually in a newspaper, when you see a police dog as a hero, the story is usually he took down 17 masked burglars and dragged them all to the neck on his own. But this is Dexter. What's Dexter famous for? What is Dexter famous for?
Did he resuscitate someone?
No, he didn't. In fact, he's...
What?
It's a lovely story. It's my favourite story of the week.
Okay. Dexter?
Dexter is a police dog who trained as a drugs dog and was a total failure. An absolute failure. Why? Because he was too friendly. He was too gregarious. He enjoyed being with people. And they took him out, and on his report it says he'll never make a drugs dog because he's too gregarious. He's not interested in catching people. He's just interested in being friendly. So, but instead of getting the boot, he was taken on as an emotional support dog. And there's a unit that go around looking after police officers and others who have suffered from PTSD because they're involved in major incidents that are quite traumatic. And Dexter goes around and cheers them up. And apparently he's very, very good at it. And he's a real favourite.
That is a lovely story.
It's a brilliant story, you know. So a total lemon as a drugs dog. You can imagine him just saying, "Hi, how are you?" And yeah, it's lovely. You know, and it looks as though he really enjoys his job. Last story.
Can you bring us back on?
Yeah. He was a lovely dog. Yeah, we had a black Labrador on the farm who was a bit like that. We also had a dog that was had been a pedigree sheepdog, but had had a bit of a scare. So we didn't have many sheep on my stepfather's farm, so we kept this dog. And she, Jess was her name. She was the most intelligent thing I've ever met. And you'd just go in the field and say, "Round them up, Jess," and she'd just go and do it. She'd just go and bring them in.
Oh.
You didn't have to, no point in giving her any instructions. She'd have looked at you and say, "Well, what are you saying?" But she was very, very intelligent. We were stacking bales in the barn one day, and she used to love playing fetch. So I picked up a tennis ball and I tossed it into the manger, which was halfway up a wall. And so this ball got jammed in the wires, and it took her about 20 minutes. It was good because it kept her out of the way, but it took her 20 minutes to work out where to put this ball so it would drop through a big enough gap. So we just finished one load of bales and she bounds up with this tennis ball. So I thought, okay, I'll do it again 20 minutes later. No. Took her 8 seconds to retrieve it. She'd remembered what to do, moved it along with the nose, whipped it out. 8 seconds later, she was back up with it. But she was an amazing dog.
Dogs are clever, aren't they?
She was an amazing dog. Had such a... when she was very old, I went back to see her on the farm. And as I got out the car, she recognised it was me and she limped out of the kennel and got this little tennis ball and I tossed it for her and she hovered off into the grass and came back and got it.
It's like a heartbreaking
lovely dog. She was a lovely dog. Oh. Yeah. Now, last story. This is... I don't know whether to put this on screen. Okay. Could be a bit controversial. Who is this? This is a custom that's
only...
This
is the elf.
This is the elf. It's only come into the country in the last 10 years.
Elf on the shelf.
It is the elf on the shelf. And this is another Telegraph filler article. 12 ideas for what to do with your elf on the shelf. I did see a wonderful meme, which I better not talk about in case there are children watching. But I don't know about you. I just find this just a wee bit creepy. What do you think? I mean, what do people think? Is the elf on a shelf a good thing? I think I think that the idea behind it is that this elf spies on children through the whole month of December. And whips
I think
off...
it's a little bit like Toy Story, isn't it? Like he gets up to like trouble and then he freezes when they come back and has to like stay there or something. He's been caught in the act.
And then he goes up to report to Santa.
Something.
But I just think they look a bit kind of, I don't know. Would you want the elf on a shelf looking at... Oh no, he goes back to the North Pole and reports.
Kind of spying thing.
Yep, reports to Father Christmas. And that's a particularly intimidating picture. I'm not sure. I don't know what people think about Elf on the Shelf. What do we think? Do we like it?
Yeah,
it's not.
I mean,
it's not biblical.
Like quite a nice presentation. It's not.
It's not biblical. I don't think. Is it? We'd have to look that one up. Let's hang fire on that. St. Nicholas, Santa Claus, St. Nicholas. We're happy with. Elf on the Shelf. Yeah.
There must be some kind of analogy we can draw there.
Yeah, it's
getting dangerous.
Yeah. He knows when you've been good. I think. Okay. Yeah. What's that?
Yeah.
About? This is about the control of children and yet one more pressure for them to navigate in the run up to Christmas.
And more pressure for the parents. I feel sorry for them. They probably think, "Oh, this is a nice idea," and then 24 days later, you're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't think of anything else."
I'm just glad mine are slightly too old to be completely bothered by an elf on the shelf. I mean, I'd probably give me nightmares, but there you go. But it's come from
other traditions that are quite nice.
It was invented by someone in the States, and it grew like wildfire there, and it crossed over to here. I only remember seeing them 3 or 4 years ago when it became a big thing.
Yeah, I think same for me. Years ago.
They had them in Asda today. They're all over the place. So.
Yeah, there's a huge Wilco section as well, actually.
Yeah, which you browsed, obviously.
Wow. Yeah, because I love Christmas.
Good. That's it. That's all the news quiz stuff. I think. Let me just check it. No, the only thing left.
I do enjoy the news quiz, Jonathan.
Good. They're fun.
And I think I'm still on a bit of a high from last week when I got the Joe Biden presidency one right almost word for word. I think I'm still just on a high from that.
That's it. Sorry. I don't know what happened then. There's obviously a button on the keyboard you press and it activates that function. And I've no idea what I press. And I'm not sure how I got it back. But there we go. No, okay. An extra Joe Biden question just for you this week. Joe Biden hurt his foot this week. In fact, he broke a bone in his feet.
Foot, I know.
How did he do it?
Are you going to ask me how he did it?
How he did it? How did he do it?
I can't remember.
Hang on.
Did he drop something on it?
No, hang on. Keep guessing. I'll see if I think I've got a picture of it.
Well, I want to say he kicked a ball or something,
No,
but that seems a bit
didn't.
ridiculous.
But
it was something that seemed, I don't know, it was something that made me think, oh, Joe, because he's old for a president, isn't he? And you do worry about him.
He's older than Trump, isn't he? Not by much, but...
He's really old. He's leading a country.
Wait a minute.
78, I think, or something.
Hang on, wait a minute. I've got a picture of it somewhere.
Oh, I'm excited.
There it is. Where it is. Let's see if I can do this. Just talk amongst yourselves. Just add that.
No, I can't do that without you.
This software is amazing, but it takes a lot of getting through.
Well, I just can't remember. I know I read it because I'm a big fan of. I'm quite interested in American politics anyway, but I like Joe Biden, and I remember seeing it and feeling sorry for him. But now I can't remember how he did it.
Right, hang on. Desktop. Oh, it's not going to work. Yes, it is.
The lengths we go to. You could have just shared your screen.
I can't because it won't work that way. Oh, for heaven's sake.
Just Google it in this time.
No. We're gonna go for this.
Shall I finish my dinner?
Yeah. Well, why don't you describe to people what it is? Then.
Got some. Our fridge has been broken for over a week, so.
Yeah, FridgeGate. How's that gone?
Yeah, it's hard work. We go out most days to get something to eat, and then put it alongside some potatoes. Or we just have a really easy pasta with some sausages or something. It's fine, right. But you have to be a little bit more creative.
Okay, here we go. I've got it. So one last chance to guess.
Okay.
How did he do his foot in?
He kicked something.
I hope not.
A sport. Playing with one of his dogs.
Yeah. So the White House has been pet-free under Donald Trump. Well, that's arguable. There you go. He's got 2 Alsatians. They look like Alsatians. I'll probably get everybody onto because they're probably not real.
Well, I think there's some photos. Like there's the beautiful photos of Obama and his golden retriever, I think it is, in the White House. It just looks so beautiful. But yeah, I do feel like Joe Biden. He's quite old and fragile. All right, careful on your foot. All right, if your foot can break from playing with the dogs, just go careful, okay?
Yes. Good. I think that's us. A couple of things to say. One of which is, I hope you're doing night prayer tonight.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. I don't know who's doing morning prayer in the morning. Please say it isn't me.
It's not me. We will work out.
I haven't got the timetable in front of me. The other thing is that.
Oh, is it not you?
I hope not. It's 7:30 in the morning, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, but it's just once a week. I do it twice a week, Jonathan. So come on. It is you tomorrow. I just remember tomorrow's Wednesday.
Gee, thanks. Okay. The other thing to say is communion tomorrow morning is back in church. We are back in church tomorrow because lockdown has ended. So with all
what time is that, Jonathan?
That's 9:30. So we're back in church for communion tomorrow morning. It will be streamed if I can make everything work from the back of church at the start, go and take the service and then go and switch it off at the end. So we'll be in church for communion tomorrow morning. Usual social distancing rules will apply. But that's say it won't be streamed from home. It will be streamed from church. So if people are joining us, that's the arrangement for tomorrow. And then we're back in church this Sunday, which is going to be, I think, an odd feeling. We're kind of getting used to not being in church again, and then we're going to get used to being in church again. So all good fun. And we'll look forward to seeing everyone in due course.
And I will definitely say that if you are watching this on Facebook or through the website and you know somebody who needs to know that information or would appreciate knowing that we're back in on Sunday, then please do just give them a call tomorrow. Let them know that the church will be open on Sunday.
That's it. We're done. Okay. All done.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you all very much
for joining us. We'll be back. I'll be back in 15 minutes for night prayer. So see you soon.
Take care. Good night.